Hello everybody and welcome back. Today I am going to do my February wrap-up and my March TBR. This month has been a great month for reading for me. I got through 14 books, but only 10 of them count toward my reading goal because four of them I've already read. I set my reading goal on Goodreads for 24 books because I haven't read 24 books in a year in a long time. Getting through 14 this month was insane. First is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone through the first 4. Actually, technically, I'm halfway through this one, but I'm planning on finishing it today because I don't have anything to do and it will be easily accomplished. So these 4, which don't count for my reading goal. Generally, when I read Harry Potter now, it's like I just skip around, read whatever year I'm most interested in at the time, whatever year I haven't read in a while. But this time I decided that I was just going to read straight through them again. I knew that I loved it and I knew that I was obsessed with it, but I didn't know how much I loved it and how big of an impact it had on my life. And I think that I'm the person that I am today because of it, really. I like to think of myself as a kind person and as someone who isn't afraid to volunteer my time for other people. And I think that I got that from reading about characters who were really generous and kind. So thank you, J.K. Rowling. Reading the books again, it's just every time it's like coming back home. Anyway, on to the new stuff. As you know, I read Outlander. This was one of the books that I read with Nicole. Gave it a 5 out of 5. Loved it. Also with Nicole, I read Legacy of Kings by Eleanor Herman. Also loved it. I gave this one a 5 out of 5 as well. And I can't wait for the next one. This was my blind date with a book. I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. I loved it. I gave this one a 5 out of 5 too. Oh my gosh, so much love in the books that I read this past month. On to the stuff that you haven't seen. I received the Star Wars trilogy episodes 4, 5, and 6 for Christmas this year, and I did not think that I would get to this as soon as I did, but I did. So there's the whole trilogy is in here, 3 books. I knew that I loved the film and I didn't want the books to fall flat for me, but they didn't fall flat. I read them through really quickly and I loved them. They were quick, easy reads. I gave each of them 4 out of 5 stars because you can't beat the film. Next, I read Dune by Frank Herbert, and this book was okay. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. I think that I just heard so much hype about it that I was really excited, and then, I don't know, I really like science fiction, but Dune was just not, I don't know, didn't really do it for me. So much hype, and not enough living up to it. I had the same experience with Ender's Game, which I didn't even finish. I think someday I definitely will finish it, but I just was not feeling it at the time. Then I read The Martian by Andy Weir, and I had to read this one quickly because I had been planning on reading it anyway because I really wanted to watch the movie, and then I ended up subbing in a classroom where we watched The Martian, so I was like, oh no, I found out about it beforehand. So I powered through the first half of the book one day and then watched the first half of the movie with them, and then went home and finished the book and watched the second half the next day. I have to say that I did like the movie more than the book. Sometimes the jokes just got to be too much and it was not very realistic, but I do really like the story overall. I think I gave this a 4 out of 5. Next, I read Taken by Erin Bowman. I hadn't really heard very much about this. I ended up getting it at a random book sale. I thought that the book cover was gorgeous, and that's what attracted me to it. And then I thought that the premise was interesting. It's dystopian. There are these people who live in this little town, and whenever a boy turns 18, becomes a man, he's taken by aliens or something. It's about a boy who's trying to figure out where they go, what happens to his older brother. And it was okay. There was too much love story in it for me. That's not what I read it for, and I also thought that the love story was just really annoying. I gave this book a 3 out of 5 stars. I thought that the premise was interesting, but I thought that it was nothing new. I've seen books like this a lot recently, and it just didn't do much for me. But it was okay. This is a fast read. I feel like if you're on a dystopian kick and you want to read one, like, go for it. But I didn't think it was anything special. And then finally, this is probably the one that I was the most excited about. I read Welcome to Night Vale by Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Cranor. I had listened to the first chapter through the Welcome to Night Vale podcast a while ago, like when it came out, and had been planning to purchase the book after I listened to it because I was like, oh yeah, it does sound exactly like the podcast. Cecil's in it for part of the book, not through the whole book. It follows specifically two characters, Diane and Jackie. Diane works in an office, has a teenage son who can shift into whatever form he wants. So she's not sure exactly what his true form is, but she can always know who he is, no matter if he's like this big or like this big, has like slimy tentacles, like it doesn't matter. She knows her son. Jackie works at a pawn shop and she's been 19 years old for as long as she can remember. And the two of them kind of go on a journey to figure out who the man in the tan jacket is and to figure out what King City is. And if you're a big fan of the podcast, like, read this because it was so good. It was so clever. It was wonderfully written. 5 out of 5. Loved it. For March, I have a couple of series that I haven't read. A book that I read in middle school that I wanted to reread. So I am planning on finishing books 5, 6, and 7 of the Harry Potter series. I'm not going to show you. You know what they look like, probably. Additionally, I'm planning on reading Dragonflight by Anne McCaffrey. You might have seen this in my TBR shelf tour. I read a lot of the Anne McCaffrey books when I was in middle school, but I don't remember which ones I read. Well, I know for sure that I read Dragonflight, but it's been so long that I really would kind of like to start rereading the Dragon Riders of Pern series, because I don't think that I got through all of the books, but I know that I read a lot of them, and I know that I read some spin-offs, and I don't know, but I'm like restarting because I can always find these at thrift stores. Value Village always has a ton where I live, so I'm gonna start over. This is the first volume of the Dragon Riders of Pern. I'm gonna reread it. I'm sure I'm gonna love it because I loved it before, and it's been a while since I've had anything with dragons in it to read, so super excited about that. I'm planning on reading Dragonfly and Amber by Diana Gabaldon. This is the second book in the Outlander series. I've been watching previews and promotions for season 2 of Outlander, and I'm just like, I need to read the book because I really want to finish the series and be able to watch it. Then I have the second book of the Raven cycle by Maggie Stayfighter, The Dream Thieves. I'm probably butchering her last name. But I really enjoyed the first book, so I'm excited to get into this and see what's next. This last book I found in Fred Meyer while I was grocery shopping. I should never just casually walk by the books when I'm grocery shopping. This is called Both of Me by Jonathan Friesen. I'm sorry. I'm not entirely sure what this book is about. It kind of sounds like it's a love story, maybe, but it also sounds like maybe there's a boy who has like a personality disorder. I'm interested in reading it. Doesn't sound like there's fantasy or science fiction in here, so this is my contemporary and adult book of the month. That is my wrap up and my TBR for March, so I will let you know how that goes and get back to you. Thanks for watching. If you have any suggestions, make sure you comment down below. Like and subscribe if you want to see some more of these, and I'll see you next time. Bye.